A new country joins BRICS. A European nation is joining the BRICS, moving away from the European Union. People often compare BRICS to NATO, but that shows they don't really understand it. BRICS is about working together on money matters, while NATO is a group that started during the Cold War. BRICS could become as strong as the European Union, especially if they overcome their internal problems. They have lots of natural resources and huge potential for growth. Right now, BRICS Plus isn't accepting new members, but Turkey recently said it officially wants to join. This is partly because Turkey is frustrated. They've been trying to join the European Union for over a decade, and the EU still hasn't let them in. Turkey could really help BRICS. They have good transportation routes between the east and west, and they're in a strategic spot, connecting the southern part of the world with the west. President Erdogan sees this as a way for Turkey to become more important on the world stage. It's important to understand that BRICS, just like the G20, are places for countries to talk. They don't work the same way as the European Union. So far, being a BRICS member is mostly about having conversations and doesn't mean countries have to work together as closely as they do in the EU. But with the world always changing, this could be different in the future. Even so, Turkey still cares about its relationship with the EU. They do a lot of business together, about $213 billion worth. Turkey isn't the only country thinking about joining BRICS instead of the EU. Serbia is also looking into it. Serbia's Vice Prime Minister, Aleksandar Vulin, said the EU keeps making them do more and more without actually making any real progress on letting them join. Serbia applied to join the EU back in 2009 and has been an official candidate since 2012, but because things haven't moved forward, they're looking at other options like BRICS. One of the biggest problems Serbia has with the EU is that the EU wants them to become friends with Kosovo, which would basically mean saying Kosovo is an independent country. Vulin pointed out that while Brussels keeps giving them conditions that are hard to meet, Russia has never told Serbia to choose between Moscow and Brussels and has never said they would stop being friends if Serbia joined the EU. The Kosovo issue has been a big problem for Serbia for years, and it's still a major challenge. In the meantime, Serbia announced that they're going to the next BRICS summit to see about joining the group. Vulin said it wouldn't be smart to not at least think about all their options, including joining BRICS, especially since other countries like Turkey, the United Arab Emirates and Saudi Arabia are also interested in the group. To sum it up, BRICS is becoming a real and attractive alternative for countries that want to have more options for trade and economic opportunities outside the EU. As more European and Asian countries start to look at their choices, it's clear that BRICS Plus is a good model in today's world. The competition between economic and political groups could get stronger in the next few years, with Serbia and Turkey possibly leading the way for Europe to move towards BRICS. Lately, more and more countries are interested in BRICS. This includes not just countries that are still developing, but also European nations that have always been closer to the West and the European Union. Several things are causing this, both in politics and money. For one, countries like Turkey and Serbia are frustrated because they haven't been able to join the EU. They're looking for other options that give them more chances and fewer rules. With the world becoming more divided, countries need to diversify their economies and find new allies. This is where BRICS comes in. It lets countries work with other important countries like China, India, Russia, Brazil and South Africa, instead of only working with Western powers. These nations have a lot of natural resources, and their economies are growing quickly. They offer a different path than the traditional economies of the EU and the United States. Turkey is a good example of this. They've been trying to join the EU for over 10 years with no luck. Now, BRICS seems like a good choice for Turkey, a country caught between Europe and Asia. Turkey is in a very important spot geographically. They control major trade routes and can talk to both the East and the West, making them a significant player on the world stage. Erdogan knows this, and he sees BRICS as a way for Turkey to become even more influential and important in a world with many centres of power. Serbia is also having problems with the European Union, especially when it comes to Kosovo. The EU wants Serbia to say that Kosovo is independent, and this has been a big problem. And many in Serbia think the EU's demands are unfair. On top of that, Serbia has a long history with Russia, which makes things even more complicated. The EU wants Serbia to distance itself from Moscow before it can join the EU. So, BRICS is looking pretty good to Serbia. It would let them make their own decisions about important issues like Kosovo, without having to do what the West wants. Joining BRICS could also give these countries access to new customers and investors. This is especially important now because the way we buy and sell things globally is changing quickly. As more countries think about joining BRICS, we'll probably see BRICS change. It might become more than just about the economy and turn into a powerful political group that influences the whole world. If BRICS gets bigger, the EU might have to rethink how it treats countries that want to join, and even how it treats its current members. Having to compete with BRICS could force Brussels to relax its rules or offer better deals to keep countries like Turkey and Serbia on its side. If the EU doesn't change with the times, it could lose its influence in important parts of the world. Basically, European countries like Turkey and Serbia wanting to join BRICS shows that this group is becoming a big deal around the world. As BRICS becomes a real alternative to the EU, more countries will probably look into joining. This could completely change who is friends with who and who has the most power in the world in the next few decades. The relationship between BRICS and the EU will be very important to watch as they compete for economic and political power. Countries like Turkey and Serbia might be the first to show everyone else how to become more independent and in control of their own futures.